Matthew 15:21-28. The faith of a Canaanite woman. Matthew records that Jesus departed from the region of Galilee and withdrew toward the district of Tyre and Sidon. These cities were Gentile territories, historically outside the covenant privileges that belonged to Israel. The setting itself is significant. Throughout the gospel narrative, the mission of Jesus is first directed to the house of Israel, the covenant people through whom the promises, the law, and the prophetic hope had been given. Into this scene comes a Canaanite woman. Matthew intentionally uses the ancient term Canaanite, a name tied to the historic enemies of Israel in the land. By using this designation, the narrative highlights the deep covenantal distance between this woman and the people of Israel. She cries out, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely oppressed by a demon." Her words reveal something remarkable. She addresses Jesus as Son of David, a royal and messianic title rooted in the promises given to Israel. Though she is a Gentile, she recognizes the identity of Israel's Messiah and appeals to him for mercy. At first, Jesus gives no answer. The silence emphasizes the covenantal boundaries that defined his earthly ministry. The disciples, troubled by her persistent cries, urge him to send her away. Their concern reflects the prevailing understanding of the time. The blessings associated with the Messiah belong to Israel. Jesus then speaks plainly, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." This statement reflects the historical order of the redemptive plan. The prophets had spoken of restoration for Israel, and the Messiah came in fulfillment of those promises. His ministry unfolded within the framework of those covenantal expectations. Yet the woman does not withdraw. She comes and kneels before him, saying, "Lord, help me." Her plea moves beyond titles and theological language and rests entirely upon mercy. Jesus responds with a proverb, "It is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." The imagery reflects the covenant structure of the time. The children represent Israel, heirs of the promises. The bread symbolizes the blessings associated with the kingdom. The phrase dogs was a common Jewish expression for Gentiles, describing those outside the covenant community. The statement reveals the historical distinction that existed between Israel and the nations during that period. Yet the woman answers with humility and insight. "Yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Her response acknowledges the order Jesus described while still appealing to the abundance of his mercy. She does not challenge the priority, but recognizes that the provision of the Messiah is so abundant that even the smallest portion is sufficient. Jesus then declares, "O woman, great is your faith. Be it done for you as you desire." At that very moment, her daughter is healed. The account unfolds within the historical transition taking place in the first century. The Messiah had come in fulfillment of Israel's promises, ministering among the covenant people, while the old covenant world still stood. Yet even during this period, glimpses appear of a wider purpose that would extend beyond ethnic boundaries. The faith of this woman stands in contrast to the frequent unbelief found within Israel during the same era. While many who possessed the law and the prophets struggled to recognize their Messiah, this outsider perceived his authority and trusted in his mercy. The narrative therefore reveals both the order and the generosity of the redemptive work unfolding in that generation. The mission began with Israel, yet the power and compassion of the Messiah could not be confined by human boundaries. His authority over sickness and spiritual oppression demonstrated the arrival of the long-promised reign of God. In this brief encounter, the greatness of faith is displayed not in personal merit, but in a confident reliance upon the mercy of the Son of David. The woman recognizes that the blessing she seeks does not originate from her standing, her heritage, or her works, but from the abundant provision found in him alone. Thus, the healing of her daughter becomes another testimony within Matthew's gospel that the authority of the Messiah extends beyond every barrier, and that his mercy is greater than the divisions that once defined the covenant world.